cheeky dinner.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live. Okay, dude, let's just dive right in.
Let's go.
All right,
That's that cocaine.
sugar booger, Colombian Bam Bam.
That's what you get down at Ashley Safers.
Look, man, I've never done cocaine,
All right.
but if I did do cocaine, I could do a lot of cocaine.
Just walk by the line and it disappeared.
Dude, I could rail off of anything.
Third baseline and never be safe.
Okay, how abreast are you on the tip situation?
Oh, you just flowed me right into that one, huh? Okay, so I've gotten a basis of what the allegations were, and I have heard some things, and I've read a couple things. And I'm reserving judgment until after anything needs to come out, because my blackness has failed me in other instances with our beloved Dr. Cosby and the aura himself. But the crazy thing with aura is we knew that 25 years ago.
Aaliyah, man.
And I was just thinking about her a second ago when we were talking about the ladies. I was like, oh my gosh, I would have loved to see what she looked like now at 40. Oh, Jesus.
Or just what she would have done in the world.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I fainted interest in the R. Kelly because I was just like, yeah, he did that shit.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah,
that's what, like, we know your history. So
yeah, we're not even. You ain't got a during the fighting that dog. There just ain't, man. You now with Dr. Cosby, with Bill Cosby. It was just, you had to just listen, man. Like who saw that coming?
Right,
Nobody
like you did, coming. Like you couldn't, like, oh my gosh. I mean, that was like a punch. But see, the aggravating part to that was how, particularly our people, my people, were, you know, they're out to get him. Da da da. Like, okay, you might have one accuse you. You may even have, when you're that famous, you may have 4 or 5. But when I got scores and scores of women that are that have never collaborated together, that seem to tell relatively the same story or the same process, I'm an evidence-based person. I believe science as well as what my eyes see and what science says. And if you got that many people coming out, chances are you did 2 of them. And 2 is too many. So I play the percentage number. We baseball guys. I play the percentages. So I mean, if it was 7 people, you stand a chance that it might not have been any. Okay, that's, anybody can go 0-for-7 at the plate. Mm-hmm. But even if you accidentally you go to the plate 50 times.
You swung at a changeup.
And you may have flipped that bitch in the right field. Mm-hmm. Unintentionally. Mm-hmm. Accidentally, you got a hit after 50 at-bats. If you just stuck the bat out and just did
if you bunted.
Pitcher's going to slip on the mound.
You're going to make contact.
Third baseman's not going to make it down the line. Something's going to happen where you make it to first base.
I agree, man.
So if it's sounding like the same kind of thing with tip, in the essence that there's a massive amount of number, and then these.
So, okay. Now, mind you, as we are producing this show, I haven't seen Tip's response.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this has been a couple of weeks that I saw. I mean, just so happy. I don't even know what I saw it on. But, of course, he and Tiny categorically denied, everything that was going on. The girls were hyped up, or, the girls are being extra. This is not what happened. So, okay, he's at least, because you know, for a while he was silent. So even up to you not even knowing that, like, he hadn't said anything. But damn it, if I get accused of all that, somehow I get some, especially even if I'm getting ready to make the defense that I didn't do it. Damn it, I can't wait till trial to say it.
The problem with me is that I've never been accused of anything I didn't do.
Everything they said, that was me.
It was me every time. Every time.
Not even gonna fight it.
I couldn't assign blame anywhere. Did you do it? I fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up. So they're just denying it. They're just going, no.
Yeah. Right.
They're
Right.
saying that just this didn't happen at all.
Right. Those events, like the way it was explained, the way it was put out to the world, that's not what happened.
Okay. So
at least he's on record for saying, wasn't me. He's pulling Eddie Murphy.
And there's a lot of girls. So all right, given the amount.
But but Anthony, there were all these women in your house. Hey, wasn't me.
What house?
I've never even seen this room before.
What house? What house?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of girls that have came forward and said this. Mm-hmm. Now let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit as we do so well. First of all, you know that this man is married.
Right.
He is a public figure.
Uh-huh.
He's well known and he's married.
Yes.
And let's say, for instance, he invited you over. You meet T.I. He invites you over, mm-hmm. or T.I. Messages you or whatever, however he meets you.
However that works.
You know he's married. And he invites you over and says, hey, it's cool. My wife actually gets down like this.
Right.
What the fuck do you think was going to happen?
Right. Would you like me to make you some pancakes?
Did you think that they were just going to bring you over to their house and just, we're
going to watch the game?
Right. Did you think that there was going to be like even if you did know that things wouldn't get sexual, did you think that there was just going to be rose petals and somebody would carry you in and lay you down?
It's the most ridiculous thing that I can even think of, because it's like, okay, either one, you're a gold digging thought ass tramp, which looking for some kind of gain out of this scenario.
You're a predator,
or you are the dumbest human being walking the face of the freaking earth.
And women aren't dumb.
And you're not dumb. No. Even the dumbest woman not dumb when it comes to that.
Nope.
When it comes to that.
Too smart. I mean, women are just not. They're not dumb. They're smart. So they were well
man,
aware.
What did Carlos used to say? Man, I'm dumb. I'm dumb as a fox. Carlos, man, you need to get your tail here, bruh.
Yeah,
we need you here.
At least at this point. Now, I may change my stance. I'm going to ask everybody to let me reserve the right to change my
flexibility,
stance. Yeah.
Adaptability.
But at this point, I think that they probably should have just signed non-disclosures.
I'm like, hey, look, I've always said this ever since the Chappelle episode. I mean, just even though that was contract. We saw NDAs for everything. If you come in my house and you're not even the pizza delivery man, is going to have to sign an NDA.
Oh, Dave Chappelle got his name back.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. Put his stuff back on everything.
He's strong, man. I seen when he asked. I seen when he initially proposed. He was like, "Look, don't." He said, "I'm not asking you to boycott Netflix. I'm asking you to boycott
my
me.
stuff. Don't watch my stuff until they fucking pay me."
Yeah, he's got a unique ability to tell a story, man.
Yes.
When he walks through and he talks about the signing and how
I love. That's why I've always told you. That's why he's my. Even as I grew up in comedy, I grew up in knowing and loving comedy. So the Eddies, the Richard Pryors, the Red Fox, the Moms Mabley, the Lenny Bruce, the Dick Gregory, all that. Those are my heroes as a kid.
Richard Pryor still, man. Hey, man, I killed her. Tore the pussy up. No,
nah,
I killed her.
Was the pussy that bad, man? I remember watching that as a kid, like, still hilarious. That was hilarious.
It just smooth.
Was the pussy that bad, man?
He met a bunch of predators in his career, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. There was this
one.
There was one interview where I seen where Richard Pryor, one of his wives, was taking care of him as he was dying.
Uh-huh.
And she talked about it. And she was like, she was the only one that would come over and feed him. And he had got, frail
Right.
in his end
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And I think
hated that
he had
end.
a heart problem too.
Yeah, I hated that at the end.
And he had just gotten so frail, and she would come over and take care of him. And she was talking about all the women that just took money from him and just, absolutely just.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reserve my right to change my stance, but at this point, I think that if you go over to a married man's house, I mean, what do we? Anyway, moving right along.
Tell me what you think of. I know it's going straight into the political arena, but not a light, but a universal topic. What do you think about the length of time of and age limits on senators and congressmen? What's your thought on that?
And again, I'm no genius on this. All right, but there definitely should be term limits, right? And not only should there only be term limits. Most of us that are walking around now have all started or in our working careers been a victim of '08. All right. And I think and would love to see our country and congressmen and said, I would love to see younger folks that are around our age doing that. I would like to see people that have lived through '08 making decisions now, not the people that caused.
Were there when it happened.
Yeah, that caused.
And tried to shovel it back over, correct?
Yeah. I definitely think that we should have. I mean, man, it's just that generation. Look at most of Mitch McConnell and Nancy, and I mean, even up to our current president. Man, we need younger.
They're old. They're old as hell.
Yeah, and they're all from that generation of. I mean, we need. Humanity has developed. Let's see how Biden's in his late 70s.
77, 70
Okay.
something.
Right. You're talking. Okay, 70-something is grandparents' age. You're talking 2 generations ago. You're talking about ideologies and mindsets from a lot has changed in 2 generations.
Yes.
And they're still on the exact same. This is exact. I mean,
path.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. This is what this, and it aggravates me to a T, simply because, like I said, and it really didn't hit home for me, the age thing until my grandparents started getting that old. And this was this 15, 20 years ago. Like, I mean, I love them to death, but I don't think they need to be making major decisions because they are locked in the way that they think. There's really no flexibility in the way that a person, because by the time I get to 70 plus years old, I ain't gonna have none in my mind either. Fuck you and what you think.
Yeah.
I got this far thinking this way, and I got less in front of me than I have behind me.
Yeah. You got more past than future.
Right.
They're not making 2021 decisions.
Right.
I mean, these are 1980, 1990
Absolutely.
decisions.
Absolutely.
These are
Absolutely.
And from I'm gonna just say, from what I've seen going out so far, and I know it may took a lot of executive orders to overturn what we've previously done. And I haven't dug in and really looked at all the executive orders, but it seems like this is nothing. The problem is we can't get what either side promises. We just can't get it. We can't get what you campaign to do and what you do in office is never the same thing. And this has been the frustration with the general population since I can remember even understanding what the president was. It's always, we'll do this, and then you get in and we just, we don't. So,
I was sitting, because I always said if they made it smart enough, if they were smart enough to say, okay, 2 terms is enough for the president. It's 8 years, two terms. Get your ass out of here. You can't. We don't need a dictator. Why would it not be the same thing, the same responsibility of those that make the laws?
They actually make the laws.
They make the laws. They make them and they approve them. It doesn't matter. I mean, to an extent, it really doesn't matter what the president says because it still has to pass through these guys. So the fact that they're sitting there, you got people who've been in Congress 40. I mean, I'm getting ready to be 45 years old. There's some people there that have almost been there as long as I've been alive.
I just found out they only work 3 days a week.
That's about it.
Because
or if they've called back into special session, but a lot because they have to go back home.
They have to go. Yeah,
they have to go back home to their state. Because if they spend too much time outside of their state, then they're not considered residency. Yeah.
I think people like me or you. The problem is on the ground. I can listen. I have met some wonderful Republicans, right?
I can say the same.
Yeah, I've met some solid Republicans, right?
Hmm.
And I've met some really solid Democrats.
Equal.
I've met some shitbag Republicans.
Absolutely.
And I met some shitbag Democrats.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's
absolutely.
But on majority, everybody on the ground could agree. I've listened to even extreme like right people and extreme left people, and I can find a common ground with any of them. On all the topics that they can, all the topics that they can't get together on, I can find a common ground with anybody here on the ground.
Right. As long as you're willing to be open about it.
Well, anybody you could. Because
everybody's not willing to be open.
Dude, okay. So technically, if you're on the right, you can't be for universal health care.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. But if you go up to anybody who is a Republican and go, do you think that the health of the population should be a business interest? And they will all go, no, absolutely not. We don't think that this is smart at all. What about education? Do you think that education should be a business? No, absolutely not. What about the prison system? Should the prison system be a business interest? No, it shouldn't. And me and you can agree on this all day long, and all of the population, but they can't. Mm-hmm. So some younger people that understand the world, because there's no way you're going to tell me that any of those people or our current commander in chief, you can't tell me he's in 2021 because I don't think he is.
Can be.
No.
I mean, you can have people that try to aid you in that thinking, but you're still stuck on what you are a product of, in my opinion. Because I say that's what, I mean, almost be cynical. I'd almost say that a congressman or a senator should only serve one term. Instead of being 2-year terms, should be 1 4-year term, just like a president, even if they're staggered in, every 2 years, you still stagger them every 2 years. But I think it should be one term. Do the best that you can and then get the hell out. Because what that now prevents you is making decisions based on trying to be reelected your next term. Just trying to stay around.
And then when you go to get reelected, well, and that's another problem. All right. They have the ability to be lobbied. Mm-hmm. They have corporations that donate to their campaigns. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. We're the only country that even has lobbying. Allows that.
Right.
So I actually sat down with a guy who was a lobbyist.
Well, but you know what? I don't mind I don't like the financial part of lobbying.
Yeah.
If you could cut that part out, because absolutely someone needs to be lobbying for some right for something that needs to be lobbied for, but cash doesn't need to be flowing to say, hey, let me explain to you why this is important.
I got the background story on how that really works.
All
right. So whenever they're in the process of making a bill, all right, they're not allowed to take contributions.
Absolutely.
But if they're not in the process,
come on.
Yeah.
That's the way I like it.
They can take money. So
that's why not many come up.
And lobbying also, I guess a lobbyist would be, I know a lobbyist would be the person, they have the ability. So everything translates into an actual law. And a lobbyist has the ability to say, hey, we need the law to be read this way. So this would affect us in this way. Yeah. And a great example would be, let's just say the pest industry. A law would have to specifically say that you can't apply this type of fertilizer because it can get into the water system and it can hurt humans this way. Right. But maybe your common person who's being affected don't know how to tell a lawyer, which most of people that write all the laws, and they're lawyers.
They're all lawyers.
They're lawyers. Right. So you got to understand how to talk law to them, or you're talking a different language.
Right.
So I don't know. I know the campaigning part. I would definitely agree is not in anybody's best interest.
It's not.
Because instead of serving the constituents,
you're self-serving. That's it. Because you're only making decisions that are based on your ability for someone to say, "Hey, let's put this guy back here again." So, but if you go into a situation knowing that there's only one out, there's only one door out, and I got a flood coming behind me that's going to push me out of this door, I better do the best I can before my ass get out of this door. So that's going to force me to now do things that are beneficial to folks who put me here, because I know I can't come back.
We also could do better as a general population of following congressmen and what they're actually doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think probably over the last even though my uncle made a post yesterday about my grandfather, the reason I have the civic duty, especially when it comes to the political arena that I do, my grandfather, my 91-year-old grandfather, was our county. I tell you about what my grandmother did as part of the Greensboro sit-ins years in the World War sit-ins back in the 60s. But my grandfather was the first African-American polling administrator. Now, granted, it was Robeson County and where we're from, and he did it for 50 years. Not one error was ever made in our ballot counting in Robeson County. Not one during his 50 years. Not one. So that's where I get my civic duty, is from his strength and how important it was to vote and do this. So I've always followed it, but the last 3 years I've paid attention. I've always followed it, but now I've been paying attention. And what you just said, that we need to be calling senators, we need to be following. Hey man, the hell is going on in Washington? Somebody call me back. Talk to me.
Well, when you can track them by the legislation they produce.
Yep.
I mean, this is public information.
It's public record.
Yeah,
that's right.
you can look at all this stuff up. How about the Lumbee being federally recognized? But
fighting that fight forever.
Yeah, they've been fighting that for a long time. And from the last update I seen on it, they said that actually everyone voted for this but Nancy. They said she was the single person that has decided to decline the recognition of that tribe in Robeson County.
But here's the point: if that can't be factually true, because if that was the case, then they would have recognition. That means they'd have way more than a majority to do that. So,
oh, that's interesting. Because it was another senator, I believe, that said, "Hey, it's her to stopping it."
No, that factually how a bill and a law is passed.
That's propaganda.
Yes, that's absolutely false. Because here's the thing, though. That's where I'm from. Lumbees have been fighting for recognition for as long as I've been alive, particularly for sure since the 80s.
Yeah,
for sure. Who's in? How many different Congress have we had since? We've had 35, 34, 31 different Congress since then, and it hadn't passed, shot down every time. So who keeps shooting it down if that's what?
It's got to be the majority. Yeah.
So fuck all them, because hell, why not recognize them?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't know. I mean, I we grew up with steepled in that culture.
Oh, absolutely, good.
But the truth is, the truth is I wasn't alive when this tribe made. I mean, I really just wasn't alive. Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can say that I know how they looked, but I mean, I don't really know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't tested their DNA and and done the genealogy and all that, and that's just not my place. But if I don't know. I don't know. They have declined to federally recognize that tribe forever.
But I tell you what I wish the rest of the world had, and I'm going to just say this and leave it alone. I wish the rest of the world had dealt with each other the way they deal with each other. They are always together, bro. Mm-hmm. You can't. Now, even you may have Democrats, you may have Republicans, but at the end of the day, scrap all that. We Lumbee.
I can't believe, dude, I struggled with understanding how the right appealed to them. Mm-hmm. Because remember when they had the God, what was it? They had a political event, man. Remember they had a problem with that. Remember when they had a riot when I think when BLM went through there.
Oh, that was in Pembroke.
In Pembroke.
That was in Pembroke.
And they were
that was in Pembroke, bro.
Yeah.
I remember watching some of that video, and that part. Now I'm gonna just tell you from as a black person that grew up with many and have many classmates and very good friends, and what disturbs me the most is that there's that much division between the Lumbee Indian and the African American in that county, simply because like, hey, we're both losing. Let's help each other. Why is there this? Because one is not doing anything to keep the other back from anything. We need to be together to work together.
Well, they were taught to breed and stay and marry within their kind. And by the most part, they're pretty solid to that. They're very, very loyal, most by large.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people that left the reservation, but for the most part, man, they stick to themselves.
But when they do, you know where they go.
Yeah. No.
You know where they go.
No.
Moving along.
Pocahontas got John Smith, man.
Yeah, Pocahontas. All right.
That wasn't a beautiful Lumbee queen, though.
Man. Okay, I ain't gonna say that.
Some of the most beautiful women in the world.
Okay, I'm glad. Thank you for saying.
Some of the most beautiful women in the world.
Listen, man, I have some of my classmates are, well, let me say were, because not all of them still were some of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life to this day. Sheesh. Anywho,
those women are tough. You rolled
cut your ass quick.
Listen, if you rode, could you imagine what the Planet Fitness in Lumberton looks like? My cousin, I was talking to my cousin the other day. He called me and he said, "Man, I got a gym membership." And he was like, "I got a gym membership in Lumberton." I said, "You ain't working out in there. You are not working out at the Planet Fitness in Lumberton. Ain't no way, man." Could you imagine Planet Fitness in Lumberton, North Carolina? With some of Lumberton. Listen, Robinson County has a very unique hidden gem of some of the most beautiful and some of the most athletic, strong males I have ever. Dude, we went.
Listen, I got a classmate, and if you ever see this, you know I'm not Lee. You know this guy in high school. The first time he picked up a weight was we were juniors in high school. Football. Never played a sport in his life. Never lifted a weight. This joker goes and puts 300 pounds on the bench press. Lee Kevin was probably maybe 5'7", 5'8", maybe. Benches it twice.
On accident.
Like, didn't even know to have the proper technique. Oh, we forgot. You've been bench pressing hogs your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, them dudes are strong, man.
Oh, boy.
I've seen plenty of helmets come off.
Split. I used to have a young guy, we used to call him Novocaine. Because when he hit people, numbed them out. About 5'7", 5'8", small Lumbee kid. Chris Novocaine was his nickname. He split a man's shoulder pads, broke his shoulder pads, split a dude's helmet right down the middle. This is back in the day when you could hunt him down. And yeah, like on our sideline, oh my God, he's really gonna kill somebody. Like we thought he was gonna hurt somebody. Like for real, they had to bring that. They kept an ambulance. That's like before then. They never really kept an ambulance at games. This is in 1993 and 1994, so they weren't keeping ambulances at the game. They had to keep an ambulance at the game for this guy.
And suddenly they just have this EMT team kind of
just hanging around.
They're being a little more consistent
right
than they used to be.
Are they following us to the game?
God, man. Y'all got the paddles and
oh
everything?
My gosh. Oh man.
Y'all just got the little backpack with the paddles and stuff at a high school football game.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's some unique people down there, and they are also. I told my cousin if they ever did like the lip syncs, that they would be famous.
Oh, for sure.
And somebody
For
caught
sure.
on out there. Their language is just charming.
Oh, for sure. And you know it anywhere you hear it, Daddy Rep.
Yep.
Anywhere.
Paul?
Come on, Bo.
Yeah. They go to the store and say, hey, let me get a pack of them Marlboro Lights.
I want me a couple of them there, cuz.
Yeah. What was her? Nicole's sister, Ashley.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to her because she's a speech therapist.
Yep.
And she told me, she said, Daryl, she said, they go out of their way to pronounce things wrong. She said they really go out of their way to pronounce things wrong down there. But it's very charming.
Oh,
very
much so.
charming.